Welcome to today's transformation dive into a topic most people would rather scrub their toilets than talk about: money. Specifically, that squirmy, uncomfortable feeling that hits you right in the gut when you think about your finances. Let's be honest, sometimes logging into your bank account feels less like managing your future and more like walking the plank. Or maybe it's like playing a video game on hard mode, where you keep losing health points just by existing. If you're tired of that constant background hum of financial anxiety, or if you suspect there's more to financial peace than just making more, you're in the right zone. This isn't about magic get-rich-quick schemes. It's about building a solid foundation and a powerful mindset that makes money work for you, not against you. We're going to tackle the stuff that actually makes a difference, the internal game that dictates the external score. If you're into real, actionable money and mindset content, hit like and subscribe. It helps way more than you think. And while you're at it, drop a comment with where you're watching from or your biggest money habit win. It's cool to see our community grow. Let's dive in and change the way you think about success. The money dread creep. You know the feeling. It arrives without an invitation, settling in like an unwelcome house guest. Maybe it hits when an unexpected bill lands in your inbox, sharp and cold. Or maybe you overhear a friend casually mention their investment portfolio, and a little green monster of inadequacy stirs in your chest. Perhaps it's just a quiet, persistent hum of anxiety that starts when you even think about logging into your banking app. You hover your mouse, and you flinch. Come on, admit it. You've been avoiding it, haven't you? A physical knot tightens in your stomach, right? You click through, and there's the number. Maybe it's lower than you desperately hoped, or perhaps it's higher, but you still feel completely out of control, like the number is just an accident waiting to happen. Maybe you just made a purchase you instantly regretted, that little thrill of spending replaced by a wave of guilt. Or perhaps you scrolled past a photo of someone else's seemingly effortless dream life on social media and felt that familiar, sharp pang of, "I'll never get there." This feeling isn't merely about the digits on a screen or the balance in your account. This dread, this involuntary flinch, this quiet shame, this spark of envy, it's a powerful signal. It's telling you that something fundamental is out of alignment between your money and your life, your values, your goals, and your true self. Many people make the mistake of thinking the solution is simply doing more or having more. You might chase a higher income, slash expenses until you're eating ramen for every meal, or devour every finance book you can find. And while these actions are part of the picture, if you don't address this underlying feeling, this deep-seated disconnect, you'll find yourself trapped in a frustrating loop. You might earn more, only to see lifestyle inflation gobble it up faster than you can earn it. You might save inconsistently, always feeling like you're one unexpected expense away from disaster. Or you could even build significant wealth, but still feel perpetually anxious, like the rug could be pulled out from under you at any moment. You are absolutely not alone in this. Millions of people experience this exact sensation. We're diligently taught how to earn money through jobs or businesses. Maybe we pick up a few tips on how to save, but rarely are we shown how to truly align our money with who we are, what we deeply want, and what truly makes us feel secure and purposeful. Think about it. Maybe you're a student burdened by crushing debt before your career even begins, feeling a sense of hopelessness before you've even started building. Maybe you're mid-career, earning a decent income, but it feels like every dollar is spent before it even hits your bank account, constantly playing financial catch-up. Or perhaps you're building something big, a business, a family, a significant asset, hustling hard. But the increasing financial complexity feels overwhelming, constantly threatening to swallow your peace of mind whole. The common thread running through all these scenarios? A pervasive feeling of being disconnected, a sense that your money isn't genuinely working for you in a way that feels good, feels purposeful, and feels deeply aligned with your authentic self. This goes beyond mere budgeting problems. It's a more profound challenge of financial identity and consistent, aligned action. Here's the surprising insight, the myth bust you need to grasp right now. The feeling you consistently have about money, your emotional relationship with it, is often far more important in the long run than the amount you have in your account today. Your dominant emotions about money are powerful dictators of your financial actions. Fear leads to avoidance, causing you to bury your head in the sand. Shame leads to hiding, making it hard to ask for help or be honest with yourself. Envy leads to chasing, pushing you into unsustainable spending patterns, trying to keep up appearances. But if you can consciously shift the feeling by creating genuine alignment between your money habits and your true values, the necessary actions become not only easier, but almost inevitable. When your spending, saving, and earning are aligned with what truly matters to you, the financial numbers naturally begin to reflect that positive shift. The myth that society often sells us is that more money fixes everything. The powerful, life-changing reality is that fixing your relationship with money, cultivating authentic financial alignment, is the true key to sustainable progress, genuine financial peace, and lasting wealth that feels good. This isn't about feeling guilty for past mistakes. It's about radical honesty with yourself and deliberately taking back control by understanding and closing the gap between your financial actions and your deepest values and aspirations. Your immediate action, your starting point right now, is simply to notice. What is the primary feeling that arises in you when you think about your money situation right now? Just observe it, with as little judgment as possible, for the next 60 seconds. Pay attention to where you feel it in your body. Don't try to fix it, just notice. This simple act of awareness is the first step toward powerful alignment. All right, let's dive into section 2 of our transformation journey. We've set the stage. Now let's peel back the layers of what money really is. Beyond just numbers, you probably think of money primarily as digits in an account, the ebb and flow of transactions, the stack of bills paid, or, let's be real, sometimes not paid on time. It's incredibly easy to reduce money to just a line item in a spreadsheet, a budget category, or a cold, hard savings target number. And yes, it is those things, fundamentally. But here's the twist. Money is rarely just numbers. It's deeply, intricately woven into the fabric of who we are and how we live. Think about it. Money touches your sense of self-worth, whether you feel worthy of earning more or having nice things. It underpins your feeling of security or insecurity. It fuels your biggest dreams, like travel, starting a business, or buying a home. And it often triggers your deepest fears of scarcity, failure, or not being enough. Money impacts your relationships, how you discuss finances with a partner, how you view generosity, even how it influences family dynamics. Believe it or not, it can even affect your health, as financial stress is a major contributor to anxiety and physical ailments. Money is a tool, absolutely, a powerful one, but it's a tool deeply embedded in your identity and your daily choices, far beyond the spreadsheet rows. Consider this common scenario, perhaps one you've seen or even lived. Two people earn the exact same income, let's say $50,000 a year. Person A feels constant stress, feels like they're living paycheck to paycheck, and often impulse buys things they don't really need, maybe just to get a little hit of dopamine or feel slightly better in the moment. Person B, earning the identical amount, feels a sense of security, is saving consistently towards a meaningful goal they genuinely care about, and spends intentionally on things that truly bring them joy or add lasting value to their lives. Same numbers on paper, right? Vastly, vastly different realities. Why? Because money isn't just your income minus your expenses, like some simple math problem where you either pass or fail. It's a powerful reflection of your habits, your underlying beliefs about yourself and the world, and your values put into action every single day. And here's the surprising insight that might just flip how you see things. Your current financial state isn't some kind of cosmic report card judging your inherent worth as a human being. No, it's much more like a mirror. It's reflecting your internal state, your mindset, your feelings about money, your fears, your aspirations, and your daily habits. It shows you where your attention, your energy, and your priorities actually lie, not just where you wish they did. It's not about being inherently good with money or bad with money, like you were born with or without the money gene. That's a total myth. It's fundamentally about being aligned or misaligned, aligned with your values, your goals, and your true priorities, or misaligned, letting old habits, fears, or societal pressures dictate your financial behavior. This misalignment can feel like trying to paddle a canoe upstream while drilling a hole in the bottom. It's exhausting and ineffective. Your financial flow follows your emotional and habitual current. So, for your action step in this section, a simple but powerful one. For the next 3 days, simply observe when you spend money. This isn't about judging what you buy, just noticing the moment before you spend. What were you feeling right before you made that purchase? Big or small? Don't analyze, don't justify. Just write down that single feeling word. Anxious, excited, bored, stressed, obligated, happy, sad, rushed, generous. Just the feeling. Do this for 3 days and notice what the mirror reflects. This small habit changed everything for me when I started noticing the emotional connection to my spending. Welcome to today's transformation dive into building your earn flow zone, a place where your money serves your life, not the other way around. Have you ever felt like your bank account balance is playing a cruel game of hide and seek? One moment it's there, the next it's poof, gone. You worked hard, the paycheck landed, and yet by some mysterious financial osmosis, it seems to evaporate faster than water on a hot sidewalk. You're not alone. Millions feel like they're stuck on a treadmill, running faster and faster just to stay in place financially, all while the goal of actually building wealth feels like a distant, maybe impossible dream. It's easy to blame the economy, your salary, or the price of literally everything these days. And sure, those factors play a role, but what if I told you that often the biggest barrier isn't external forces, but an internal blind spot? What if gaining control wasn't about making more money right now, but about understanding where the money you do make is actually going? This isn't about judging past mistakes. It's about empowering you with the knowledge to make different choices today. It's about shifting from financial anxiety to financial clarity, from feeling controlled by money to taking control of it. This journey is about more than just numbers. It's about upgrading your mindset, unlocking your potential, and creating a future where you feel secure and in control. If you're into real, actionable money and mindset content, hit like and subscribe. It helps way more than you think. It signals to YouTube that this information is valuable, and it helps us reach more people who need to build their earn flow zone. Also, drop a comment with where you're watching from or your biggest money habit win. Let's build this community together. Ready to peel back the layers and uncover the path to financial freedom? Let's dive in and change the way you think about success. All right, let's cut to the chase. The title of this section is Where Your Money Goes Now. And honestly, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is perhaps the most fundamental, non-negotiable step in gaining control of your finances. Why? Because you cannot effectively manage, grow, or align something you don't truly understand. You might think you know where your money goes, but the reality is often wildly different. Think about planning a road trip. You wouldn't just hop in the car, point it in a general direction, and hope for the best, right? You'd check the map, maybe look at the fuel gauge, know your starting point. Financial health is no different. You need to know your starting point, exactly where your money is flowing right now. So let's get real. The first step out of that feeling of financial dread, that pit in your stomach when you check your bank account, is facing the reality of where your money actually goes, not where you think it goes. This isn't about shame or judgment. Seriously, let go of that right now. This is purely about gathering information, collecting data points. You might be convinced, like so many people are, that the bulk of your spending is on the big, obvious things: rent or mortgage payments, car loans, maybe your significant grocery bill. Those are easy to point to. But then you do this exercise, and you start tracking, and you realize that miscellaneous category, the one you barely pay attention to, the spontaneous coffees, the online shopping scroll that turned into a purchase while you were bored, the last-minute takeout because you didn't plan dinner, adds up. And it doesn't just add up a little. It can add up to hundreds, sometimes even thousands, more than you ever imagined over a month. It's not the big expenses that are silently sinking your financial ship. It's the small, often unconscious leaks that you're not even aware of. And here's the surprising insight, the myth-bust moment. Most financial stress doesn't come solely from a lack of income, though yes, that's a very real challenge for many people, and something we'll address. It often stems from a profound lack of awareness and intentionality about spending. You are highly likely spending a significant portion of your hard-earned money every single month without a conscious decision, driven instead by habit, emotion, convenience, or just pure autopilot. It's like playing a video game, but not knowing what buttons you're pressing. You're moving, but you're not controlling the character. This lack of awareness is a core concept that impacts your financial potential massively. You can't plug the leaks if you don't know where they are. You can't redirect your funds towards goals if they're just draining away into the unknown. Your action, plain and simple, starting right now, for the next 7 days, track every single dollar you spend. I mean every dollar. That $3 coffee? Track it. The $12 subscription service you forgot you had? Find it. Track it. The spontaneous $50 purchase on something you just had to have? Track it. Use whatever tool works best for you. A simple note in your phone? A dedicated budgeting app? There are tons of free ones. A spreadsheet? Or even just a small notebook you carry with you. The key here is zero judgment, just data collection. Don't try to stop spending. Don't try to budget yet. Just observe. Be a financial detective for a week. This one habit, simple tracking, changed everything for me because it pulled back the curtain on where my money was truly disappearing. Try this for a week and prepare to be surprised. And as we start to wind down, let's bring it all together. We've talked about peeling back the layers, confronting the reality of where your money goes, and understanding that awareness is the absolutely critical first step. This isn't just theoretical information. It's a blueprint for action. The one big takeaway from everything we've discussed today is this: financial freedom and peace of mind don't magically appear when you hit a certain income level. They are built, brick by brick, on a foundation of awareness, intentionality, and conscious decision-making. The journey might feel challenging at times, maybe even a little uncomfortable, like stretching a muscle you haven't used in a while. But the potential long-term benefit? It's immense. Imagine a future where you're not stressed about bills, where you're confidently saving for goals, where your money is actively working for you, not against you. That future starts with the steps you take today, the tracking, the planning, the shifting of your mindset. There's a deeper insight here that goes beyond just dollars and cents. It's about self-mastery. Taking control of your money is profoundly linked to taking control of your life. It requires discipline, yes, but not the kind that feels like deprivation. It's the empowering discipline of alignment, making your daily habits align with your long-term values and goals. It's about choosing conscious action over passive reaction. This isn't a race, it's a marathon, and every conscious step forward counts. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate the small wins, and remember that stumbling is part of the process. The key is to get back up and keep moving with newfound knowledge. The journey to your earn flow zone begins with understanding your current reality and taking deliberate steps towards your desired future. In the end, your bank account will catch up to your mindset, not the other way around. Your money emotions matter. Let's be honest, talking about money isn't always numbers and spreadsheets. It's messy, it's personal, and often it's deeply emotional. Think about it. Money triggers some of the most fundamental human feelings. There's the cold knot of fear when you worry about not having enough. Maybe you're staring at bills, or the future feels uncertain. There's the sting of shame about past financial mistakes, those decisions you cringe remembering, wishing you could hit rewind. Envy pops up effortlessly when you scroll through social media and see others' apparent success. The trips, the houses, the effortless lifestyle. Guilt can weigh heavy when you spend money on yourself, even necessities or well-deserved treats, feeling like you should be saving or giving. And then there's the constant hum of anxiety about the future, about retirement, about unexpected emergencies, about just keeping up. These aren't just fleeting moods that pass like a cloud. They are powerful, often invisible forces driving your financial behavior from deep within, well below your conscious radar. Consider this all too common scenario. You see an investment opportunity. Maybe it's a stock, real estate, or even starting a side hustle. If your dominant, unchecked emotion in that moment is fear, fear of loss, fear of looking stupid, fear of not understanding the jargon, you might freeze. You avoid investing altogether, staying safe, but potentially missing out on significant growth that could change your trajectory. On the flip side, if your dominant emotion is unchecked greed, the thrill of quick wins, the nagging FOMO, fear of missing out because everyone else seems to be getting rich, you might jump headfirst into something risky you don't understand, skipping the research, ignoring the red flags, like trying to win a cooking competition by just throwing expensive ingredients into a pot, hoping for the best. Neither of these decisions is strategic. Neither is based on solid information or a calm assessment. Both are purely, powerfully, emotionally driven. It's like letting your feelings hold the steering wheel of your financial future. And here's the truly surprising insight: the myth bust about rational finance. Financial decisions are rarely, if ever, purely rational. You might think you're making a logical choice based on data, but your underlying emotional relationship with money is almost always the silent partner in the room, whispering, or sometimes shouting, instructions. This relationship is often formed in childhood, absorbing messages from your parents, societal pressures, advertising, and yes, those past mistakes that taught you painful lessons. Recognizing and truly understanding why you feel a certain way about money gives you incredible power. It's like finally seeing the invisible threads that have been pulling your puppet strings. It allows you to pause, identify the emotion, and then choose your response from a place of clarity, not reactivity. It's the difference between slamming on the brakes out of panic versus deliberately navigating a tricky turn because you understand the road. This shift from emotional reactivity to conscious awareness is a core muscle to build in your earn flow zone. It's not easy, like learning to lift heavier weights at the gym, but it's foundational. Your finances won't magically fix themselves until you address the emotional roots. So, let's start training that awareness muscle. Try this for a week. Whenever you have to make a financial decision, big or small, buying coffee, paying a bill, considering a purchase, take a breath. Ask yourself, what emotion is bubbling up right now? Fear? Excitement? Obligation? Guilt? Just notice it, without judgment. And here's a prompt for reflection. Grab a notebook or just think on it. Think about a recent financial decision that felt particularly hard, stressful, or maybe even impulsive. What was the dominant emotion you felt before and during that decision? Really try to pinpoint it. Write it down. Seeing it on paper makes it real, and that's the first step to taking back control. This one habit of emotional observation can change everything for you. Okay, we've talked about some core principles and perhaps even tackled a bad habit or two. But now, let's shift gears dramatically. Because honestly, if you're just chasing a number, you're missing the entire point. Welcome to the section that asks, what money really buys you? See, people often think they want money, like just the money, a bigger number in the bank, more zeros in the investment account. And that's fine as a starting point. But it's kind of like saying you want ingredients without knowing what you're going to cook. Money at its most fundamental level is simply a claim on future resources. It's a sophisticated medium of exchange for value. You provided value through work, investment, solving a problem, and you received a claim, money, that you can then exchange for value someone else provided, goods, services, experiences. But what we do with it, what we seek from it, goes so much deeper than just swapping IOUs. You don't just want a number in the bank. You want what that number represents or enables. Think about it. Is it security? The deep exhale, knowing you have a buffer against the unexpected bumps in life? Is it freedom? The ability to decide how you spend your most precious resource, your time, without being tied to a specific place or job? Is it the ability to contribute, to support causes you believe in, help your family, or build something that leaves a positive mark on the world? Maybe it's the chance to create incredible experiences, travel, learning new skills, enjoying hobbies without financial stress. Or perhaps it's the power to build something meaningful, a business, a community, a legacy. Let's use that classic example. You might think you want $1 million, just $1 million. But why exactly? If you can't answer the why, that number is just a label. Is it for the security of knowing you're covered if something goes wrong? The freedom to travel the world for a year? The ability to finally start that business you've been dreaming of for a decade? The chance to help your parents retire comfortably? The $1 million is just the tool, the means to an end. The underlying desire, security, freedom, creation, contribution, that is the true value you're seeking. Chasing the number without truly understanding the why is exactly like climbing a ladder with incredible effort, only to realize when you get to the top that it's been leaning against the wrong wall all along. You hit the number, but you don't feel fulfilled because you weren't chasing the right thing in the first place. Here's a surprising insight that challenges common thinking. Financial goals rooted in intrinsic values, things like personal security, true freedom, continuous growth, or meaningful contribution, are far, far more motivating and sustainable than goals based on external validation, like keeping up with the Joneses, whoever they are, or arbitrary numbers picked out of thin air. When your money actions, saving, investing, spending, directly align with these deep personal values, managing money stops feeling like a confusing, boring, or stressful chore. Instead, it starts to feel less like a burden and much more like actively building the life you actually want. Peace by financial peace. It gives your money purpose beyond just being green paper or digits on a screen. This one shift in perspective changed everything for me when it came to consistency and joy in managing my finances. Now, here's a prompt for reflection. A simple yet powerful exercise. List 3 things that are truly, deeply important to you in life. Think beyond material possessions. Is it time with your family? Lifelong learning? Your physical and mental health? Expressing creativity? Helping others? Write them down. Now, reflect on each one. How could money serve these values? How could financial stability or growth help you achieve more of these things? This isn't about buying happiness. It's about using money as a lever to create a life rich in what truly matters to you. Okay, so we've talked about identifying your core values, those deeply held principles that should be guiding your life. And hopefully, you spent some time looking at where your money is actually going, the raw data from your spending tracker. Now, we arrive at a point where the rubber truly meets the road. And let's be honest, it can feel a little uncomfortable here. This is where we confront what I call the hidden alignment gap. The alignment gap is that often unseen space between your stated values and goals and your actual financial actions. It's the disconnect between what you say matters most and where your money is actually flowing. You might sincerely believe that security is paramount, yet find yourself consistently accumulating high-interest consumer debt that erodes any sense of safety. You might tell yourself freedom is your ultimate goal, but your spending habits keep you firmly tied to a job you dislike because you need every penny to cover expenses for things that aren't truly serving your freedom. Or maybe you understand intellectually that building long-term wealth is key to future peace, but you're paralyzed by fear or inertia, letting opportunities slip away while your money sits stagnant or worse. It's like trying to navigate using a map, but your feet are walking in the complete opposite direction. You're moving, but not towards your destination. Let's make this real with an example that might hit close to home. Perhaps in the last section, when you identified your values, health and well-being were right up there, maybe even in your top 3. You genuinely want to be healthy, feel good, and take care of your body and mind. But then you look at your spending tracker, that objective truth bomb we discussed earlier. What do you see? Significant money disappearing on impulse buys of junk food, or excessive alcohol, subscriptions to streaming services you rarely use, or maybe even things you buy just to feel temporarily better after a stressful day. Hello, retail therapy? Meanwhile, spending on quality groceries that nourish you, a gym membership, or fitness class that aligns with your value of physical health, or even investing in a few sessions with a therapist or coach for mental well-being is minimal or non-existent. Your financial actions are in direct contradiction to that value you hold dear. It's kind of like declaring you want to run a marathon, but spending all your training time watching documentaries about running while eating chips. A little funny when you think about it, but serious when it's your life. Now, here's the surprising insight that changes everything. This gap isn't a moral failing or proof that you're secretly bad with money. Absolutely not. People often underestimate how much their financial actions are driven by unconscious programming. Beliefs about money absorbed from childhood, societal pressures to keep up with trends, emotional coping mechanisms, spending to feel better, avoiding bills to feel less stressed, or simply a lack of awareness of where the money is actually going. Shining a light on this gap isn't about generating shame or making you feel guilty. It's about providing clarity. It's about identifying the specific points where your actions diverge from your intentions, allowing you to consciously make a different choice and reroute your money flow towards what truly matters. Awareness is the first crucial step out of the misalignment. So, for your action step right now, let's bridge this gap, one contradiction at a time. Go back to your spending tracker from Section 3 and revisit the top 3 spending categories you identified. Now, pull out the 3 core values you listed as most important from Section 5. Look at them side by side. Is there alignment? Do your top spending areas reflect your top values? Where are the biggest contradictions, the most glaring misalignments? Take a moment to really feel the weight of that disconnect, not with judgment, but with curiosity. Write down one significant contradiction you see, just one. This one habit of observing without judgment can change everything for how you approach your money and your life moving forward. Okay, you've started peeling back the layers, looking at where your actions might not align perfectly with your financial goals. Now, let's get to the heart of why that might be happening, because we're about to uncover one of the most profound truths about money and your life. Ready for a perspective shift? Money, your inner mirror. Here's a powerful, perhaps uncomfortable idea. Your relationship with money isn't just about dollars and cents. It's a stark, often unflinching mirror reflecting your relationship with yourself and the world around you. Think about it. That gut feeling you get when you look at your bank balance, the impulse buys that appear out of nowhere, the consistent avoidance of dealing with your finances. These aren't just random events. They are echoes of your deepest beliefs, fears, and feelings about your own worth and security. Consider how inner scarcity mindsets manifest. It's not just about having little money. It's a belief that there's never enough. This can drive you to hoard money out of fear. Or paradoxically, engage in impulsive spending because of that panicked, gotta get it before it's gone feeling. Like hitting the panic button during a sale you didn't need anything from. You might feel a surge of temporary pleasure, but it's often fueled by the anxiety of missing out. Or maybe it's fear of judgment that's pulling the strings. You might find yourself spending money you don't have to keep up appearances, buying things to impress people you may not even like. It's the financial equivalent of putting on a perfect social media filter while feeling completely chaotic inside. It looks good from the outside, but the internal debt is piling up, both financially and emotionally. Perhaps one of the most insidious reflections is how a lack of self-worth can cripple your financial potential. If deep down you feel you aren't good enough or don't deserve success, your financial habits will likely reinforce that belief. This isn't some abstract psychological theory. It has real-world financial consequences. Someone feeling unworthy might self-sabotage career growth opportunities that would increase their income. They might avoid learning about investing or budgeting, dismissing it as too complicated for me, subconsciously validating their belief in their own inadequacy. Or they might repeatedly fall for get-rich-quick schemes, perhaps unconsciously setting themselves up for failure, again, validating that internal narrative that they are destined to fail financially. It's like deciding you're bad at baking, so you deliberately burn the cake every time to prove yourself right. Here's the surprising insight, the core concept that changes the game. Changing your financial outcomes often requires looking inward and addressing the underlying beliefs and emotional patterns that are driving your decisions. Money isn't just a tool for external transactions. It's a powerful mirror reflecting your internal landscape. Your financial habits aren't just habits. You can use them as a diagnostic tool for your mindset. That swipe of your credit card, that feeling of dread opening a bill, that resistance to logging into your investment account, these are all data points about your inner world. Now, let's connect this back to the contradiction you identified in Section 6. Think about that specific behavior or pattern where your actions didn't match your intentions. Now, using your financial habits as a mirror, ask yourself, what inner belief or feeling might be driving that misaligned behavior? Is it, I deserve this treat after a hard day, masking a deeper feeling of being depleted? Is it, I'll never get ahead anyway, leading you to not even try saving? Is it the belief that others are luckier, absolving you of personal responsibility? Just identify the potential connection. This isn't about blame. It's about gaining clarity. This one habit, honestly reflecting on the why behind your financial choices, changed everything for me. All right, let's talk about bringing all this mindset and value talk down to earth. We're bridging the gap between what you say matters and what you do with your money, day in and day out. For so many, especially when you're just starting out or maybe feeling completely buried under financial stress, This alignment starts with incredibly simple, almost boringly consistent habits. Think of it less like building a mansion overnight and more like deciding you're going to walk for 15 minutes every single day. It's not the single grand gesture, it's the repeatable action. This isn't about slapping a financial straitjacket on yourself and never enjoying life again. Absolutely not. It's about becoming more intentional, directing your money flow towards what truly holds value for you, even in tiny, bite-sized amounts. It's like tailoring your spending habits to fit your financial goals, rather than just throwing on whatever budget feels trendy that week. Let's use that idea of values we talked about. Suppose your core financial value right now is security, feeling stable, having a cushion. And maybe you've noticed impulse spending is constantly kicking your security value right in the shins. The aligned action here isn't some drastic, unsustainable vow, like "I will never buy another latte." That's a recipe for frustration. Instead, a small, intentional step that reinforces security could be incredibly simple. Setting up an automatic transfer of just $25 from your checking to a separate savings account every single payday, before that money even has a chance to hit your main spending radar. Or maybe you implement a 24-hour rule for any non-essential purchase over, say, $50. If you still want it tomorrow, then you consider buying it. These aren't huge sacrifices. They're small, deliberate moves that whisper to your brain, "Hey, security matters." Here's the surprising truth, the real game changer most people miss. Financial progress isn't about achieving some mystical state of perfect budgeting or pulling off a massive one-time investment coup. It is fundamentally built on the accumulation of small, repeatable habits that directly align your daily actions with your deepest financial values. It's consistency over intensity. And guess what? Automation is your absolute best friend in this process because it removes the endless need for willpower. It takes the decision-making out of your hands when you might be tired or tempted, allowing your past, wiser self to make the financial choices for your present self. It's like having a tiny, tireless financial assistant working for you 24/7. So, here's your action step, especially if you feel like a beginner or are just overwhelmed by where to start. Try this for a week. Identify one value you want to reinforce with your money flow this week. Just one. Maybe it's security, or maybe it's freedom, or maybe it's just peace of mind. Now ask yourself, what is one tiny, specific action you can take in the next 48 hours to align your spending or saving just a little bit more with that single value? It could be setting up an auto transfer of $10, deciding to pack your lunch tomorrow instead of buying, simply tracking one day's spending without judgment, or even just unsubscribing from one store's marketing emails that tempt you. Pick tiny thing and do it. This one habit, this one step, could truly change everything by starting the flywheel of aligned action. All right, welcome back to the zone where we turn potential into profit, both in your bank account and your life. If you've been following along, maybe you've already nailed some foundational money habits, or perhaps you're seeing your income climb thanks to new skills or career moves. This next phase is where things get seriously interesting and potentially a little complicated. You see, as your earnings grow or as your financial goals solidify into something more concrete than just save more, your relationship with money needs to evolve. We're moving past the daily grind of tracking expenses or automating small savings contributions, though those habits remain crucial. This is about scaling your financial alignment. It's no longer just about keeping the gardening neat. It's about designing and maintaining the entire landscape. You're now intentionally directing larger portions of your income, your energy, and your focus towards midterm goals and actively building sustainable, lasting wealth. Think of it like moving from following a simple recipe to being the head chef, designing the whole menu. You have more ingredients, income, more tools, investment options, debt strategies, and higher stakes, bigger goals. This stage demands strategic choices. It's asking, how does this debt decision serve my 5-year plan? Is this investment portfolio truly aligned with my values and my timeline for financial independence? Are the skills I'm investing in really increasing my potential in a way that moves me towards my ultimate vision? Or am I just collecting shiny certificates? Let's look at that example. You've always valued freedom, and now you have a clear, exciting goal: financial independence within 15 years. But maybe you look at your current setup and it feels messy. Investments are scattered across old 401ks and random brokerage accounts, not managed with a cohesive strategy. And that lingering high-interest consumer debt from, let's be honest, a few too many impulse buys years ago, it's still there, quietly eating away at your future. In this scenario, the aligned action isn't just trying to throw more money at the problem randomly. That's like adding extra spices to a dish without knowing if they even go together. The true alignment here means creating a clear, aggressive debt payoff plan to eliminate that high-interest drag. It means taking control of those investments, consolidating them where possible, automating contributions, and developing a specific portfolio strategy that matches your 15-year timeline and your comfort level with risk. It might also mean intentionally investing in skills or certifications that increase your earning potential in your current field or open doors to higher-paying opportunities. Because boosting the earn side of Earn Flow Zone is just as strategic as optimizing the flow. Here's the surprising insight that many people miss at this stage. As your income grows and your financial life becomes more complex, the cost of misalignment doesn't just stay the same. It can skyrocket. Lifestyle inflation creeps in so subtly, promising comfort while silently devouring your progress. Unmanaged debt becomes a heavier anchor. Passive investing without a strategy is like throwing darts blindfolded. You might hit something, but you probably won't hit the bullseye of your goals efficiently. Misalignment at this stage is expensive because you're directing more capital suboptimally. It requires regular, intentional review and the courage to redirect significant capital towards defined goals rooted in your deepest values. So, for you, the growing earner, or the one with clearer goals, identify one financial area that feels unmanaged right now. Maybe it's your investment strategy, your plan, or lack thereof, for tackling significant debt, or even how you're strategically approaching your career path for income growth. Schedule just 30 minutes sometime in the next 7 days. Put it in your calendar like a doctor's appointment to review it. Don't try to fix everything. Just identify one specific concrete action you can take to bring that area just a little bit closer to alignment with your value-based goals. This one habit, this focused review and action, changes everything. All right, if you're resonating with the idea of building significant wealth, pushing boundaries, and potentially sitting on considerable assets, whether it's a thriving business, a hefty investment portfolio, or multiple income streams, then you're likely entering a different dimension of the financial journey. This isn't about scraping by or even just aggressive growth anymore. This is about aligning wealth and vision. For ambitious builders and those accumulating significant wealth, alignment reaches its highest level. Your financial ecosystem is likely complex. You might have multiple income streams flowing in, diverse investments scattered across different asset classes, perhaps even businesses you're still actively involved in, and increasingly, thoughts turning towards legacy planning. At this stage, the fundamental question shifts from "how do I make more?" to "how does all this financial power serve my largest vision, my deepest impact, and my true life purpose?" This isn't just about ticking off financial goals on a checklist. It requires integrating finance not just with what you do, but with who you are, with your identity. Consider this. You've built that successful business you dreamed of, maybe sold it, or it's generating substantial cash flow. You've got significant assets. On a fundamental level, you're financially secure, likely many times over, but you also value contribution. You want to create a lasting impact beyond just your personal comfort. The misaligned path here is surprisingly common. Continuing to focus only on accumulating more numbers on a screen. It's like a champion marathon runner who keeps training for faster times but never actually signs up for a race or uses their fitness for any other purpose. It becomes an endless, sometimes meaningless, chase for the next zero in the bank account. Seriously, at some point, what's the practical difference between X and X plus 1 million if it's just sitting there? The aligned path, however, is a conscious, powerful redirection. It involves intentionally structuring your investments not just for financial return, but for social impact. Maybe funding technologies you believe in or supporting local communities. It's creating a philanthropic strategy that goes beyond writing a few checks. Perhaps setting up foundations or trusts for legacy that reflect your values for generations to come. It might mean using your financial freedom to mentor others generously, pouring time and resources into the next wave of builders, or directly funding projects aligned with your deepest values and vision for the world. The cause-effect is clear. When you intentionally direct significant wealth towards purpose, it amplifies that purpose exponentially. When it's undirected, it often just grows for growth's sake, sometimes feeling hollow. Here's the surprising insight, and it's a big one. At these higher levels of wealth, the primary challenge fundamentally shifts. It's no longer about accumulation. You've proven you can do that. The real work becomes stewardship and purpose. Money alignment means you stop asking just, "How can I make more?" and start asking, with real intent, "How can my wealth amplify what matters most to me and the impact I want to leave?" This is the critical decision point many high-net-worth individuals face. The surprising habit here is the inertia, continuing the habit of pure accumulation even when its purpose has been fulfilled, rather than building the new habit of intentional, impactful deployment. Action for the ambitious builder. This requires pausing the accumulation engine, just for a moment. Schedule dedicated time this month. Block it out like your most important meeting to explicitly discuss with a trusted advisor, or reflect deeply and honestly yourself if you prefer, how your financial resources can better align with your long-term vision and values, going beyond just personal security or future growth for growth's sake. Ask the hard questions about impact and legacy. This one habit of shifting your focus from pure accumulation to purposeful stewardship can redefine your relationship with your wealth and your life. You've been doing the work. You've peered inward, identified those core values that truly matter, perhaps freedom, security, giving back, or creative expression. You face the mirror, spotting the gaps between those values and your current financial habits. Maybe you even took those first few small, sometimes awkward, steps towards aligning your money actions with your deepest desires. That's fantastic progress. But here's where a critical trap often lies: the expectation of perfection. You see, building financial alignment isn't a one-time fix like patching a leaky roof. It's more like cultivating a garden or maintaining a fitness routine. It's a practice, an ongoing conversation you have with yourself and your choices, day in and day out. And because life happens, and you're a human being with emotions, there will be slips. Let's just get that out in the open right now. You will overspend sometimes. You'll make an impulsive, emotional decision fueled by stress or a bad day. You might feel that familiar dread creep back in when you look at your bank account, even after making progress. And guess what? That is perfectly okay. The goal here, the true sustainable path to financial freedom and growth, isn't about executing a flawless plan without a single misstep. It's about making progress through consistent, conscious effort, even when that effort is messy. Think about learning a new skill, like playing a musical instrument, or even just consistently packing your lunch. You decide you want to pack lunch 3 times this week to save money and move closer to your freedom. Value. Maybe you're saving for that dream trip. Monday rolls around and you nail it. Lunch packed, feeling virtuous. Tuesday? A busy morning. Forgot the leftovers, ended up buying lunch. The old pattern tries to pull you back down, whispering, "See, you failed. What's the point?" But that's the wrong narrative. You didn't fail. You packed lunch once, which is undeniably more than 0. You also noticed the deviation on Tuesday, which is absolutely key awareness. The action isn't despair, throwing in the towel, and resigning yourself to never packing lunch again. The action is simply resetting. It's trying again on Wednesday, maybe packing 2 lunches instead of 3 next week if that feels more sustainable and less overwhelming. You didn't hit the target perfectly, but you acted. Here's the surprising insight that can truly change everything. Sustainable financial progress, the kind that actually sticks and builds long-term security and freedom, doesn't come from occasionally executing a perfect plan with military precision. That's unrealistic and leads to burnout and giving up. Instead, it blossoms from consistent, even messy, action. Every single small, aligned choice you make, whether it's brewing coffee at home, tracking an expense, or saying no to an impulse buy, even if you bought the next 3 coffees out, reinforces the habit and strengthens your connection to your values. Those failures or slips aren't judgments on your character. They are simply data points. They show you where things got tricky, where more attention is needed, or perhaps where a different strategy might work better. Like a scientist running an experiment, you observe the results and adjust. So let's bring this home. Reflect on the actions you committed to in the previous sections. Did you do them perfectly? Be honest. Probably not, because nobody does. Now, instead of dwelling on any slips, let's focus forward with a realistic, consistent mindset. Ask yourself, what's stopping you from building this consistent rhythm? Is it time, energy, self-doubt? This one habit changed everything for me. Focusing on doing something, no matter how small, rather than striving for perfection. What's one small, specific, imperfectly repeatable action related to your money or growth goals that you can commit to taking consistently, daily or weekly, for the next 30 days to build that alignment, knowing you might slip, and that's okay. Write it down. Make it non-negotiable, but forgiving. You've heard the talk about the dread, the tension between numbers and feelings, the gap between your ideal and reality, and the power of values. But what happens if you just hear it and do nothing? This is where the real cost comes in. Ignoring this inner alignment, this connection between who you are and what you do with your money, means you stay stuck. It's like trying to drive with the parking brake on. You're expending energy, maybe even moving a little, but you're nowhere near your potential, and it feels hard. You keep reacting to your financial situation instead of intentionally acting to shape it. Decisions aren't driven by your deep purpose or values, but by knee-jerk fear, old habits you haven't questioned, or the subtle, or not so subtle, pressure from what everyone else seems to be doing or buying. You might chase higher salaries, earn more than ever before, but you feel no more secure. The anxiety sticks around like a bad smell. You diligently save, maybe ticking boxes on retirement accounts or down payments, but the goals themselves don't ignite any real excitement or joy within you. They feel like obligations, not aspirations. You could even build significant wealth, the kind of number people only dream of, yet feel this hollow emptiness, a quiet anxiety, because that wealth isn't truly connected to your authentic self, to what makes you feel alive and purposeful. It's like baking a beautiful cake using a recipe you hate. It might look good on the outside, but it leaves a bitter taste. Ignoring alignment transforms your money from a potentially powerful tool, like a well-tuned engine ready to power your journey, into a heavy, tangled burden you constantly have to drag along. It becomes a primary source of stress, confusion, maybe even shame. You feel like you're just drifting through your financial life, constantly being tossed around by unexpected bills, market fluctuations, or the latest shiny object advertising throws at you. It's perpetual catch-up, or feeling like you're always falling short, no matter how much you accumulate. This isn't just some abstract concept about missing out on potential wealth. The real tragedy is missing out on peace of mind, the quiet confidence that comes from living in congruence. It's missing out on true freedom, not just financial freedom, but the freedom to direct your energy and resources towards what genuinely matters. It's about missing the ability to use your money, this incredible resource, to build a life that doesn't just look successful on paper, but feels genuinely meaningful, fulfilling, and deeply connected to you. A life, frankly, that is the earn flow zone. Don't let your personal money story be defined by reaction, avoidance, and future regret. You have the power, right now, to make it a story of intention, courageous alignment, and genuine growth. The exciting, maybe surprising truth is that the power to shift this isn't buried in some hyper-complex investment algorithm or a magic budget hack you haven't found yet. It's fundamentally about bringing conscious awareness, like shining a spotlight onto the intricate relationship between your inner world, your fears, your values, your dreams, your beliefs, and your outer financial actions. It's about making a conscious, deliberate choice to align your money, your earning, your spending, your saving, your investing with who you truly are and what you truly value. This brings us to the absolute core takeaway, the heart of this transformation. Your money situation, your financial reality, is ultimately a powerful, tangible reflection of your inner state, your beliefs, your emotions, your mindset, and the sum total of your daily habits and decisions. When you consciously and courageously align your external financial actions with your internal values and intentions, your financial reality will begin to shift, not just in numbers, but in feeling, to genuinely support the life you deeply desire. So, what is the single, most important, most powerful, most doable step you can take today, right now, after absorbing all this? It's not about overhauling everything. It's about choosing one tiny action, so small it feels almost insignificant. But don't underestimate its power. Maybe it's just opening that online banking app for 60 seconds, not to scrutinize, but just to acknowledge its existence. Maybe it's tracking your very next purchase, just one. Or perhaps taking literally 30 seconds to write down one value that came to mind during this video. Do that one tiny thing. This isn't about perfection. It's about breaking the pattern of avoidance, of reaction, with a single, conscious, aligned choice. Start there. The earn flow zone isn't some distant financial finish line marked by a specific net worth. It begins right here, with aligned action. In the end, remember this fundamental truth about growth, both personal and financial. Your bank account will catch up to your mindset, not the other way around.